Hey, welcome to T Storm Chasers Studios here in T, South Dakota, and all the tea. Kind of a Thanksgiving edition. We're doing this on what is it, Sunday today? We had the inclement weather, and so we're getting it in when we can get it in. We're talking to the school board president here in T area, Jason Bennett. Jason, thanks for coming on a Sunday. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I like having you here. We're going to talk about a number of things. We just talked about off the air a little bit, our FFA chapter and construction and everything. We'll go into that in a little bit. For now, to start off, tell us about yourself, background, where you grew up, high school, how long you've lived in T, all that stuff.
Sure. So I grew up actually in Storm Lake, Iowa. That's my hometown. I was involved in all the academic stuff and athletic stuff, fine arts. I did everything pretty much. Boy Scouts, church choir. It was rarely a day I didn't have something going on outside the home, and so I learned to appreciate all the opportunities that I had. Um, After graduating high school, went on and played football at Waldorf College in Forest City, Iowa.
Sure.
Transferred to Morningside. I sang in the choir as well, and then ended up graduating from Morningside. I was on the 7-year plan for the 4-year degree, but I graduated. I had a degree in history and a minor in political science, and then I also had my certification in the basic sciences. I just needed one more class. I would have had a biology minor, but it was chemistry, and my eyes crossed when you start talking chemistry. So I didn't. I just chose to just take the certification and walk and graduate. But after I graduated from college, I took a 90-degree turn, and I got into the insurance world. I grew up with that, actually. My dad was an agent for about 40 years, and so growing up, wherever we went, Dad was shaking hands in town, and he was involved in a lot of different things too. So I kind of adopted that. It was just part of me, seeing not just my dad, but family, friends being involved in the community, and
Yep.
so. But anyway, so in my 25 years in the insurance industry, I was an agent for 9 years. Was a claims adjuster for 6 years, loss control for 4 years, and I've been in my current role as a territory manager, which kind of oversees all of that
Okay.
for a commercial insurance company. But in part of my experience in the insurance world, I wrote policies and did claims and did loss control for school districts. So between Redwood Falls, Minnesota, all the way over to Keystone, South Dakota, in 30 some districts in between. So it's interesting
wow.
to see how those schools all operated on a professional level, and,
Right.
and it definitely ties in to what I can provide here in T. So, but yeah, that's in a nutshell. I mean, I've been active ever since I graduated college. I've been active in the community in one way, shape, or form. I'm not a veteran, but I'm involved in multiple veteran organizations. I was a reserve law enforcement officer for 14 years, so that ties in. So yeah, I mean, you see a lot of different things when you're in. It's just like being a volunteer firefighter,
Yep.
EMT, that sort of thing. But so yeah, in a nutshell, that's me. But I've been married 26 years to my wife, Amanda. My son, Ian's a senior at Morningside. He graduated here in T area in 21. My daughter she's a sophomore up at SDSU, Zoe. She graduated from here in 24.
Yep.
And we moved to town. We moved up here from Iowa in 2007.
Okay.
We lived off of TLS Road and 32nd in the T district,
Sure.
way up there in Sioux Falls. And in 2018, we moved down here to T. And so,
Are you glad you did?
yeah, T's an excellent town. I mean,
Yes.
our problems here, and not just the town, quote, problems, it's same thing in the district, are problems that other places wish they had.
Right. Absolutely.
People forget that. But yeah, we love a town and great neighborhood. A lot of friends down here, et cetera. So
Yeah.
it's a great town.
It really is. And maybe I would say this about anywhere that I lived, but I just love tea. I've been here 23 years myself, and I'll never leave ever. And So yeah, what you've always had a sense of community. You probably got that from your dad. You say, what got you involved? What made you start thinking about serving on the school board?
Sure. So, I think in with anybody, and when you have something to offer professionally or even in volunteer wise, if you can make a difference somewhere, you do it. And I saw, I won't say it's a need. I mean, the district is very well taken care of. Wayne Larson is our operations
Yep.
manager, and he's very well versed in the operations. Not that the school needed my help or anything, but I've always been had an interest in the education. Obviously, I graduated college to be a teacher, um, and then being involved in the professional side of things, I just felt, you know what, maybe I have something to offer, and so I ran, and the first time I ran, I didn't make it on. I mean, there were two incumbents. They had more votes than I did, and then there was a resignation, and then I got the phone call that night of the resignation.
Oh, wow.
Hey, come join the school board. We could use you. So I hopped on. But that was in July of 2020, right when COVID was bearing
That
down.
was the hot time. Yep.
So it just being a part of the process, and you know, seeing all the wheels turning. There's so many different things going on in the district. It's the teacher and the student. It's the teacher and the principal. It's the parents and the student. I mean,
Coaches.
the coaches, athletic, the fine arts.
Yep.
You know, everything. There's so many wheels turning, and like I said, T is very fortunate. It's very blessed to have all the things that it has. So
You took over a year ago as president from Kristen Daggett.
yeah. So in July of 2024, Kristen had been the school board president for I want to 8 or 9 years prior.
A long time. Yeah.
And she did it. She did an excellent job.
Yep.
She's set the standard high, and so I'm doing everything I can do to maintain that standard. So kudos to her. And so yeah, and I think she's been on the board 11 or 12 years now.
I remember when she ran, and I didn't think. I remember talking to her at the high school, and I said, "You know, you're not the favorite, but I hope you can get it." And she won,
Yeah.
and she's been on ever since.
Yeah, she has a banking background, so she does. She has a lot of insight in the financial side of things, and she's on our finance committee. She and Vice President Jay Ryan, and you know, so she's got a wealth of knowledge and experience, and it's good to have her on the board. So
I like what you said about if there's an opportunity to volunteer and you're a good volunteer to do it. And that goes for anything. It goes for snow blowing the driveway of a neighbor when you get a snowstorm. And
exactly right, and you know, I think people don't realize if people just stop volunteering, how many things would not get
Yeah.
done. And there's so many people, so many volunteers out there, and not just in the school district, but just around town that are they're not known, or
Yep.
you know, and they don't get any recognition, but they keep doing it. So kudos to them.
Absolutely. Throughout the week, does your wife ever get upset with you? How many hours do you think you designate to the school board besides working your full-time job?
Yeah. So some weeks, you know, as the board president, you've got a ton of extra duties because you're organizing the agenda and you work very closely with the superintendent. But you're thinking about the topics. You're looking at all the financials yourself. You're seeing expenditures you didn't know you were going to have, or an influx of money you definitely didn't know you were going to have, or money left over you definitely know you're going to have. And not that happens very often, but
Yeah.
you're constantly paying attention to things, pulling up the reports and pulling up the financials online. And I stop into the admin office, you know, once or twice a week, just to make an appearance, see if there's anything I can do to help out, something going on, that sort of thing. So I'll say as little as 1 to 2 hours a week. And the worst week, and that's not the right term, but the busiest week maybe, I probably had somewhere between 20 and 30,
Wow.
just because I was either in Pierre for meetings with the Associated School Boards of South Dakota, or there was other public events going on. So I try to get as many of those as I can. Obviously, committee meetings. You're meeting with the superintendent to work on the agenda. So if it's a perfect storm, there's something every day, and you could do something 7 days a week to go to an event. Maybe you want to see how the traffic flow is. I know that's probably one of the hot topics is that parking lot, and there's all kinds of ideas, but every idea has a cost behind
Yep.
it. Most of them do anyway, um, so it just depends on what's going on. But in if it's a perfect storm, somewhere between 20 and 30 hours a week.
The parking lot is very talked about. You know what else is also talked about? The gravel road to the west of the school.
Everybody get on your phone and call the mayor, Casey Vulcan, on that one, because the school is allocated the money we need to allocate.
Okay.
Well, figuratively. And now the city has got to do their part.
Okay.
But see, that's a township road. And
Yeah.
So, of course, it would be nice. Now, the worry is you pave it, that road goes from being a slow racetrack to
Yeah.
a fast racetrack. I mean, it's nuts the way
It-
people fly down that road.
It is.
But-
I've been down there crunch
And-
times.
Yeah, and so I mean, there's some other things to consider there too with that wildlife, refuge out
Right.
there, and but yeah, that's always, when are you gonna pave that damn road? And that's out of our hands.
Is there an eventual plan, once construction is all done, to get that back road by the bus barns? Is that going to be a well-traveled, open road for people to get out of the parking lot?
Yeah, that'll be an open road to come and in and out of. I don't know if it'll ever be blacktop or paved. It makes sense to, but on the same token with the buses, there's a lot of wear and tear, hyper focused, if you will, right
Sure.
there, just because of all the weight and the turnaround. So it might make sense to keep it gravel.
I heard that years ago the plan was to put a street to the north of the Performing Arts Center, and that kind of fell through. Not at
Yeah,
fault
that
to you
was
guys.
before my time, but I did happen to see those plans. Yeah, that road was supposed to go through, but instead the school decided to sell those lots and make houses there, and
Yeah.
and so we have houses on two sides of our property.
Yeah.
now.
That would have been nice
Yeah. Well,
to have that go through. What are some of the, right now as we sit here today, what are some of the hot topics that are going on right now? I know with the two schools coming up, we'll touch on that a little bit later, but what are some of the hot topics?
oh boy, where do you start? So it's anything from. It's and I got to be careful here because if I say certain topics, there will be one parent that knows I'm talking about them. And actually, so hot topics, anything from quote the banned books to the state of our athletic programs. Obviously, we have some staff that are concerned with policies and procedures. So as far as hot topics goes, I mean, pick one because
Right.
and I say that respectfully because we get phone calls and emails every day, every other day from a parent or a neighbor or a citizen or a staff member on a particular concern. Before, and I'm going to share one thing here. Some things are obviously a concern when you have somebody that approaches you about a concern with disciplinary or curriculum or
Sure.
whatnot. But every now and then we'll have a parent come to one of us on a particular topic that you wonder. So I had a parent a couple of years ago. She was legitimately mad that the school gave her child, animal crackers and water for a snack.
Oh,
She was mad about that. How can you do that? So in my mind, I had my personal side. I'm like, of all the things you could be upset,
yeah.
on the professional side, okay. Remember, she has in her mind this is serious, so I have to devote.
That's a good point.
I have to take this and I have to work with it. And so so in my mind, it's okay. You have to talk to the teacher. Now I'm not going to waste my time. Then that's where you got to start. However, what do you recommend to fix it?
Sure.
It's what about you want flavored? You want Kool-Aid? Okay, great. So that's $1 a packet for a pitcher. Can you donate the $5 a week to that? Well, I think problem solved.
Sure.
Simple things. I said, but talk to the teacher before you do any of that
Yeah.
stuff. And then of course, part of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, of all the things you could be concerned about. But like I said, the banned books comes up once in a while, and that's such an overused term. There's nothing's been banned. If the school district restricts it from being on the shelf, it's just restricted.
Sure.
We don't allocate resources to it.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah, and It's really simple. If it's sexually explicit, we don't want it. Period.
Yep.
And that's been going on for decades, not in the
Sure.
last
Yeah.
couple of years. When I was in high school, we had Guns and Ammo and Field and Stream magazines on the shelf. You think you're going to find that
Right.
now? Nope.
Yep.
Welcome.
Different world.
Yeah, different world now.
So, additional buildings I wanted to talk about real quick. I just drove by today in Sioux Falls, the second Harrisburg High School.
Yep.
It's called Freshman Academy now, but it is their second high school, and it's massive. And I heard it's going to only get bigger. We're the smallest. We are the smallest K through 12 area-wise district in the state, right?
Geographically, we are the smallest, without question.
So we can only get so big.
Geographically, yeah. In decades from now, when every square mile that is farm ground now is part of Sioux Falls, if you will. I mean, it'll be T. When every mile is houses, the district will have a different problem on its hand. But in the short term, the next 6 to 10 years, and that figure bounces, whether 5 to 8 years, 6 to 10 years, we're going to need 2 more buildings. We're going to need, that's a lot.
And those are planned?
Yeah, we have, so the district has purchased the ground already. One of those areas is 16 acres just north off of Main Street, kitty corner from that water tower off of Devon there, on that park. So there's 16 acres there that an elementary will go on, and then literally 1 mile north off of, I think it's 269th is that blacktop.
Sure. Yep.
So it's about a quarter mile west off of T. Ellis and 269th corner west, and literally straight up north, Main Avenue.
Yep.
There's going to be, I think we have 20 or 21 acres up there for a middle school.
Okay.
And we wanted to put it up further north for another middle school, but you get a half mile north and the ground just skyrockets in value.
Wow. Yeah.
And the other problem is where the ground that we bought, we only have a quarter mile to go for water and sewer.
Okay.
You go any further north, and I don't know all the lines or anything, but there's a ridge that goes through, and what you see developed right now up in Sioux Falls, that's it. Nothing's going further west until more and more pockets are filled in to the east and to the south.
Okay.
Because there's a ridge there, and sewer lines are gravity driven. So if they went any further west, they'd have to put in a whole series of pump stations, which cost major money. So the Sioux Falls has worked very closely, or Wayne Larson, I should say, our operations managers, worked very closely with the Sioux Falls engineers and developers, that kind of thing. And it's almost at a standstill for going any further west. So we chose the ground that we did because of cost, and we can access this water sewer off of TLS Road.
Any interest in keeping those schools kind of like we have them now, our original schools? Is there any effort to try to keep those close by, like they're going to be, just for carpooling, helping out families that might have kids in multiple schools?
Yep. All that is taken into consideration all the time. But anytime you're talking about a building, there's a big puzzle on the wall, and you're taking little pieces of thoughts and concerns, and at the end of the day, it is a dollars and cents. And then the other thing, 30% of our growth is coming from Sioux Falls. And so when we moved the town in 2007, Frontier wasn't there.
Right.
And so when we moved the town, I'm looking at that sheet that shows all the information about the house we were buying, and where's T at? T area, where's that? Well, that's 7 miles south of here. Well, how come got Roosevelt right there? What? Oh, no, 7 miles south. Okay. Yep. So my daughter, Zoe, she was actually the first class. She was in the 4th grade of that first year that they had Frontier going on. So it opened up, but.
Did she go there?
Yeah. So,
she did?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So.
If we don't build Frontier when we did, is the district in trouble?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, things have changed drastically. When we moved the town, you could change districts just with a petition.
Right.
And the superintendent, and I won't say their name, just signed off on that and let anybody up there wanted to go to Sioux Falls, let them go to Sioux Falls. which was not a smart thing for T.
And is that about $8,000 a student? Not that it's a money game, but
Well, yes and no. The formula I couldn't even tell you the formula. I wish I had Chris Esping here, our business manager. She could just rattle that off. But,
sure.
So that formula you're talking about there. So what we're losing there is just income or the taxes off of that house based on the value. Students have another allotment from the state coming in.
Okay.
So
Yep.
it's two different budgets, if you will, income streams, if you will. But yeah, Frontier, when we built that, it stopped all those petitions to get out of there. I suppose we lost anywhere, I don't know, it'd be more than that, 15 to 20 homes got over into the Sioux Falls district.
Okay.
And so those are homes we'll never get back now.
Yeah. How has that school grown since it's always fourth grade year? Do you know the numbers? What they were? I remember subbing up there really early on. It was really neat. It was like an old country school because they'd all have lunch together because it was so small.
Right. I don't know the actual enrollment. It is the smallest enrollment of all of our elementaries, but it's growing. All those houses up there that are going up to the west and even to now coming down to the south.
Yep.
All those kids go there.
Yep.
And we've got room to grow there. We've added. I think it's just the one wing.
And the gym.
Yeah, and the gym. So it's grown itself, and just because of the growth at that time, we didn't need a bond because it was growing so quickly.
Yeah.
Kind of like Harrisburg was, for a long time they didn't need a bond because the influx of money from all these new properties going up.
Yep.
Now that changed a little bit since then, but yeah, it's Frontiers. I'm glad we have it, and I'm glad the middle school that ground's been purchased.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
when it's ready to go up, and I don't know. Again, all this is very preliminary, but we've got the middle school already here in town. I don't know how far north the border is going to go.
Yep.
So outside of T, but obviously everybody from up there will go to that northern middle school.
Sure.
So.
Here's a question I thought of. I think it's going to be. This is my favorite one that I thought of. You're on the board. You have an idea of something you want to get done in T, and let's say it doesn't go through. Okay, and let's say the opposite is true. Something that's popular, you're not voting for that. You don't really like that. You have to compromise. How do you compromise with that? And maybe it's something that Miss Daggett or Mr. Ryan or Mr. Pick is passionate about, and everybody agrees, and you're kind of the odd man out. How are you able to work together with them on that idea still?
Sure. So a lot of it is just understanding where the other person is coming from. I've never had an idea, or shouldn't say I've not ever had an idea, never, but not ever had an idea that's been shot down. Nobody wants anything to do with it. Usually every and any idea that comes forward, there's a discussion on what do we do, why, and what needs to happen to get it implemented, and what's the goal of it, and what are the probable outcomes if we were to get that implemented. So great question. The only thing I can think of since I've been board president, and there's been two occurrences really that I can think of. One, last year, we had a situation that caused us to evaluate how we discipline students who violate the illegal substance use. So regardless if you're 18, I think all the ages now are 21, but that's alcohol, tobacco, chewing tobacco, etc., including vaping. And what a lot of people don't understand, it's 7th grade through 12th grade. So if you have a violation when you're in 7th grade, you're out essentially 2 weeks from whatever your extracurricular thing is. Your second violation, you're out 6 weeks. And then from every level, I think the 4th time you're done, period, forever. So we had an incident where it caused the board, to reevaluate how that, or at least attempt to evaluate it. And we had 2 discussions on it, and I was open to, after so long, instead of going on to the number 2, you reverted to number 1. So you weren't getting off, you weren't forgiven, but you didn't go on to that second level. You stayed in the first level after you had so many years. So let's just say you made a dumb decision when you're in 7th grade, and then nothing happened, everything was clean, you're fine, and then your junior year, you have a second violation. Under the current policy, you're automatically on level 2. All right, I was willing to open it up for discussion and consider reverting back to level 1 after so long of
Sure.
being clean.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and so that I opened it up. So we had discussion. We had 2 board members that were like, nope, stick to what we've got. Don't want to change it. I had 2 other board members that were open to discussion, and so we had some great discussion on it. And at the end of the night, though, again, this was last year. I opened it up for a motion, and there was no motion. And so, and I don't know if they figured I would have been the tie-breaking vote. I don't know. And I came out in support of it. But there was no motion, and there was no motion, no second. So it never even went to vote. So, and that's fine. And the policy we have works. We've only had it, I think, in the 12 years or 13 years we've had it. I think it's only a couple times it's gone on to that second level. Most of your students, once they have it, their hand slapped the first level,
Right.
they don't want to stop playing football, basketball, or
Right.
wrestling, whatever they're doing. So they do their darndest to stay away from that stuff.
So your idea, it did make really good sense, but then you can also look at it and go, what we've had is also working. So
That's exactly it. So, and I wasn't heartbroken about that at all. I mean, it is what it is. You respect it and you move on. Before I became board president, matter of fact, the fall of 2020, we had a board member. So we had opened up our facilities to use if they wore a mask. All right, during the whole COVID thing, and we had a board member who proposed to shut it all down. Bare minimum, our kids only, and limit the practice time. I don't remember all the things that they were, excuse me, advocating for, but there was no motion for it. And so another board member who spoke out against that gave the other board member the second. So we voted on it. But again, it's just a difference of opinion, and you got to work through it.
Sure.
You respect each other's opinion and their professional input, and you vote.
That's a good way to look at it. High school expansion. Is it done now for the most part, except for the upstairs?
Yep.
So it's all. So when are we going to get the upstairs in working order, or in when we need it?
When we need it. So we built it. You build it, they will come. Well, we knew the kids were coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Performing Arts Center is up and running. The downstairs, the main level, is up and running. We're using it. Looks great. Really thankful to have all that done. But the upstairs is literally, for me, I don't know. And we've talked about, should we do it early if we have the funds? Should we wait? I don't know. I just
There is a lot of classrooms up there not used right now. I'm not talking upstairs. I'm talking the building. That everything's kind of moved. I talked to Mr. Clark about it not long ago. Everything's moved to the north now. He's kind of the furthest south, and what used to be like the hub of the high school where everybody went is now kind of desolate.
Yeah, it is. We had. One thing. So I've been on the committee, the building committee, since day one, and when I got on the board in 2020. Just because of my background, Kristen's like, "Hey, you're on the building and grounds committee." Gladly, okay.
Right.
So I've been in part of the expansion conversation since day one. Originally one of the options to take the auditorium and put it on the south end of the parking lot, butt it up against the building, so the music rooms and it would not have changed. It stayed right where they're at.
Sure.
But we had just paved all that parking lot to the north.
Yep.
So we would have lost 2/3 or 3/4 of our parking lot to the south.
Yeah.
We would have had to turn those baseball diamonds and the softball diamond into parking lot anyway. So anyway, and then if we're going to do that, where are we going to do classrooms? So in the early stages of all of that, we had all these different drawings and different things to look at, and the concern was we're really stretching it out, and we did. We stretched it out, and I think the assistant principal, Dave Preheim, was telling me he's over 10,000 steps a day without even trying.
He
stopped
that,
counting
though.
because it's just because he's all over, and there's nothing's right there anymore. It's across the building.
Harrisburg High School is the same way. You need a map. If you know your wings, you're probably pretty well off in Harrisburg.
Right.
But if you don't, you might be walking a while.
Yeah, it's a big place. There's no question.
What have you heard of some of the reviews coming back about the PAC, the Performing Arts Center?
Yeah.
What have you heard about that?
So it's been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
The building is a phenomenal building, and there are things technologically that it boggles my mind of the things that they can do with
Yeah.
the lighting and just all the things considered. It's an amazing facility.
It is
So,
beautiful. I got to go to a play there, and it is just the sound, the fact that the kids can just put on a real play, don't have to rent a stage anymore and piece it together,
I
and
know,
it's
that'll
just a
be
great
huge. I'm looking
great
forward to that.
experience. Yeah. Other board members, can you tell us who else is on the board?
Yeah, so vice president is Jay Ryan.
Yep.
Obviously, then the most senior board member is Kristen Daggett. She's been on there the longest. Tara Johannesson, she's been on there quite a while too. And then Chad Meyer.
Yeah. When do you come up for re-election?
2 years. So in 2 years, so next year is Kristen Daggett and Jay Ryan.
Okay.
And then the year after that is myself and Tara Johannesson. And then Chad Meyer just went through his election cycle in this year. So
I've heard Les Schroeder wants to have a run maybe in 2 years. Hey, new superintendent this year, just the third in school history, I believe, just the third.
Yep.
Dr. Tanya Warzeka. How's that transition gone so far?
Excellent. We never missed a beat.
That's what I've heard.
Excuse me.
Right.
So she was our curriculum director for 7 years prior to going down, and I joke around. I say we gave her on loan down to Dakota Valley for 4 years, but obviously that's not the case. But so it was a natural to have her back, and we're glad she applied and glad she came back. And a lot of people knew her, and
Yeah.
she knew the system. She's been a part of it. She worked with previous superintendent, Dr. Jennifer Lowry. And paired together, they are responsible for where we're going academically. We're on the upswing, and we just keep improving. And and kudos to Dr. Samantha Walder as well, our current curriculum
Yep.
director. So it's been great. Tanya, having her back, it's been great.
Did you have a plan in place? Like always, I've heard of coaches or certain organizations having plans in place of, okay, it's a very real possibility that, I wondered if Dr. Lowry would go for the Sioux Falls School District when open, but did you have a plan in place of who you should get, just kind of loose plan?
Not officially, no. I mean, so heaven forbid the superintendent would leave unknowingly or unannounced, or health issues or whatnot. We have an emergency plan in place with our top administrators. Obviously, business manager Chris Esping, HR, high school admin, curriculum director, on and on and on. We have a core group of administrators that would essentially continue on as needed. And then if need be, we would appoint an interim superintendent. But so we didn't have one then. We are slowly working on one now, but it's nothing official.
Yeah.
So yes, but no. It's kind of one of those things.
That's what I've heard of. Asked the teachers, as I've been around, and same thing I've heard. Just smooth transition.
Yeah.
Nothing big has changed or anything like that, and I don't think anything big needed to change really.
And realistically speaking, and I said this when the night we had our recognition ceremony, if you will, the night of the choir concert, I think October the 27th. T's been very blessed to have Dr. Lowry as their superintendent for 13 years, and then to go from that caliber of a superintendent right to the same caliber, if you will, respectively,
Right.
to Dr. Warzeka.
Right.
You have two highly educated, they're highly educated, highly professional, highly driven, motivated, and highly regarded educators. They're well known throughout the entire state.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky, and to go from
Absolutely.
that. And we had some highly qualified people apply, but some of their like even their cover letters, like I don't want to work with this guy. This guy is like his way or the highway. No, it doesn't work.
Right,
no.
right.
We want a team player. We want
Good. Good.
And Tanya knew, she obviously when she applied, she knew a lot of the things that was already going on here, and so yeah, we're very glad to have her back.
And I already apologized to Dr. Lowry for when we beat her in basketball this year. I knew we wouldn't beat her in volleyball, but I already apologized to her about beating her in basketball. She'll be here for basketball because Dashel, her son, is a senior, and he'll still be playing, so she's not done yet. I noticed on Facebook her husband was going to Thanksgiving wearing a T Titans sweatshirt, so
Yeah.
I told her he should get 2 pieces of pumpkin pie for that.
Yeah.
But some Bennett, some fun with some Mr. Jason Bennett here. We do this with our athletes a lot of times when we talk to them, just kind of get to know you better. Do you have a Bennett family Thanksgiving tradition?
No, we not just no nothing ugly sweater type thing, but it's just family and eat as much as you can and be miserable. I mean, that's what we do.
Football?
Yeah, we watch a little football. Yeah, and then of course I got. Yeah, football is always on the TV. You know, my family, my dad and my son are big into football. I like watching football.
This is what I did. Now I know. Side question here. I know your son, when he played, he was number 71, I believe.
He was.
Was that your number?
Yeah. Well, I was 71 until I was a junior. Then they put me in 70.
Okay.
So, you know, that's all. No, actually, I'm sorry. I was 70, and then they put me in 71 when I was a junior.
There you go.
Yeah.
And he wore it. I asked this a lot when I subbed leading up to Thanksgiving. We had some really lively discussions in the classroom. Favorite Thanksgiving side dish? What would it be for you?
So that's a toss-up between the stuffing and the sweet potatoes.
Very good.
Yeah. I mean, there it is. And I'd take a handful in each hand and eat at the same time. I mean, yeah, I'll take as
I
much
had
as
the
that
kids
as
that
I
told me
can.
they didn't like the stuffing. They unfortunately had to go to the office that day. No,
hey, detention. Go.
I love both, and then throw me in some mashed potatoes just because my wife makes great mashed potatoes, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
You have a favorite hobby at all? What are you doing when you're not doing the insurance or the school board? If there's any time, what do you like to do?
So, I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I love riding my motorcycle. I put 7,000-8,000 miles a year on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I actually do a lot of shooting, target shooting, shooting sports. Do some hunting. I am a firearms instructor, so I give some people lessons, safety lessons, that kind of thing. So I do that. Otherwise, it's hobbies are. I'm out and about a lot, just the various organizations. So that's what I do.
Yeah. You have a favorite sports team that you follow at all? Football? It's the Max Brosmer era we're starting now, unfortunately, for the Vikings.
Yeah. Well, so earlier I mentioned that I grew up in Iowa, and both my mom's family is from Charles City, Iowa. My dad's family's from Hinton, Iowa. But when my dad graduated college, he got a job working for Sears in management, and it's just like Walmart, where back then, okay, we need you here, so Dad got a job working in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh.
Yeah, so in Sears. And then I come along out there, and so I'm a Browns fan.
Well, me too.
All right, yeah. So we will suffer together.
I tell the kids that, and they ask, why in the world are you a Browns fan? And it's not about always just liking the Chiefs or the team that's winning.
Exactly.
It's
all your Chiefs fans used to be Patriots fans. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I tell them when the Browns, because I was a Cubs fan for years. I still am. The moment that they won it, it was I was on the couch crying with my daughter because I had gone through so many miserable seasons.
I know you have.
So it made it all worth it.
Yeah, and I love baseball. So as far as favorite teams, obviously my hometown, Storm Lake, I pay attention to them. Obviously I pay attention to everything here. And especially, and I know we're talking about athletic teams, but the fine arts too. It's awesome listening to them sing and playing the band. Marching. Their directors have done an excellent job.
Since day one, almost in T.
Yeah.
It was almost day one. Our fine arts, all those that you mentioned were good.
Yeah, exactly. And I said it at our recognition ceremony that for years, respectively, we've had excellent buildings for the academics. We've had excellent facilities for athletics,
Yeah.
and now we have an excellent,
Yeah.
if not top of the line, facility for our fine arts. Finally,
Yeah.
Our-
Well deserved.
our-
Supposed to be
yeah.
here years ago.
yeah, I know it, but good things come to those who wait, and here it is.
Your
So
kids were both band kids, right?
they were, yeah. They
Even though
both
your
the
son played
saxophone.
football, you don't see that a lot, but he stuck with
Yep,
it. And
yep. So
when we would watch marching band, when our kids were in marching band, me and my wife would both get kind of emotional because it's just so, it was so moving, just seeing them all out there together and the flags and
yeah, and I played drums, and which was fine. Drummers rule the world, and I remind our drummers as I see them and talk to them, and hey, nice job type stuff, and don't forget drummers rule the world. And I sang baritone in the choir, so I make sure the baritones all know that they help rule the world. And but anyway, yeah. So obviously, I follow T, my hometown, Storm Lake. I watch those guys, see how they're doing, both guys and the gals. And then
Good.
Morningside obviously graduated from there, and so I
Yep.
pay attention. They're doing obviously well in football
yeah,
again
as
this year.
always.
And then obviously Hawkeyes. I grew up in Iowa,
Yep.
so I'm a Hawkeye fan. Obviously, we've got Iowa State too, but and I cheer for Iowa State when they're not playing the
Right,
Hawkeyes.
right.
It is
Yep.
what it is.
Anything local.
And then professionally, it's the baseball. I just enjoy baseball. I just
Yeah.
whether it's the Cubs, I support the Cubs, the Twins, obviously Royals. My dad actually went to college with Paul Splittorff. He
Okay.
was the pitcher for the
Sure.
Royals back in the late
Yep.
70s, early 80s there. So I grew up kind of a closet Royals fan, if you will, and then football is the Browns. So
A couple things I wanted to talk about really quickly.
Yeah.
We talked about FFA off the air.
Yeah.
And you said, man, I wish more people would know what goes on out there. I've been out there and I've seen it. I don't know if people know. They build a house every year that they sell. I've had a lot of kids come up and tell me they're going to be welders because of the welding program out there. And just speak about what Mr. Sorum, Mr. Gannon, Mr. Larson are doing. Mr. Preheim is in charge of it, but doing out in that building. They have a greenhouse now. It's just crazy.
yeah, so there's so many things going on there, and it's hard to talk about one part of it, and it's all intermixed and it's all intertwined. It seems, and I know there's one teacher doing this particular thing and another teacher doing that particular thing, but there's so many technical, hands-on, so much hands-on technical training going on in that building. I was in there one day watching and just to see how things are going, and you've got some guys working on sheetrock and some guys working on framing and some people working on tile.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and then you can hear the welders going in the next room, and it's fascinating, and I'm really happy to see that. And this is hard too. I mean, where do you draw the line? We have so much focus on pushing all these academics and all these advanced courses and getting them ready for four-year college and all these advanced degrees. But what about Johnny Lunchbox that just want to learn how to
100%.
weld?
Yep.
Those are the guys we should be working with just as much, if not more. We
Yep.
need that category of worker. We are short those guys.
It reminds me of a student. I know he won't mind if I mention his name, Luke Elkins.
Yeah.
He goes off to be a diesel mechanic. He's got the 2 years of school paid for. Also a job waiting for him when he gets out of school.
Yeah.
And it was 2 years is nothing. He's still working there and no college debt. And college is great, but college isn't for everybody.
That's exactly right. And there's so many people who will go out and get a degree, and it doesn't help them at all. It doesn't do anything for them, but they have a 4-year degree. And I take nothing away from the degree or somebody who wants to earn a degree. My dad always said, and my grandfather too, and they're both self-employed, a 4-year college degree just shows that you got a certain level of education for communication, writing, and presenting, and that sort of thing, and that you are trainable. You have a broader set of formal skills for management, that kind of thing. Now, that doesn't mean right, wrong, good, or bad, and
Yep.
it doesn't mean you can do those things well. I mean, you just have that training. So, but yeah, there's people that going over to Mitchell Tech or diesel mechanic, electricians, you name it, plumbing.
Yep.
We need more of those
Yep.
guys.
Yep, and the way I see it now with the dual classes at the high school, I see a lot of kids graduating from college in 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
If you put in, and I tell kids that aren't seniors, if you really put in the work ahead of your senior year, you'll be able to take some of those. Well, not just in your senior year, but you can really focus on it your senior year and get done in college,
Right,
save mom and
right.
dad some
I-
money.
one of the things, I always look back in my own experiences and what would I have done differently. So when I went to college and I'd come home in summer and I would work, one of the things I wish I would have done, I wish I would have studied abroad. And I wish I wouldn't have. And again, I said I took 7 years to get through the 4-year degree, but I worked a lot in there in the meantime. And I did a lot of little things local as far as, hunting and buying cars, that kind of stuff. But I wish I would have traveled more. And this is my personal opinion, I think there is too much of a rush to get through all of that stuff. Now,
Sure.
it's one thing for the 2-year degree, the diesel mechanic, see, that's different. But there's so many people who want to rush to get through college to go be whatever, like teaching, if they're going to get into teaching or if they're going to get into law or whatever it is. Take your time. Look around. Go enjoy the world a little bit.
Go watch the Browns.
Yeah. No, that makes people cry or laugh
laugh.
You know.
Yeah. Well, man, thanks for coming on. It's fun talking with you. You're always you give us any information that we want. The other thing I want to talk about really quickly, we mentioned, because you gave it to me, how our students are doing statewide, and it's like 7% at least above and better.
Yeah.
Why is that?
So it because of our teachers. They have to put in the effort to get to where we're at. They have to. Now, right alongside of our teachers, we have our curriculum director, Dr. Samantha Walder. She's phenomenal. She's obviously highly educated, highly driven, highly professional. Her work ethic is second to none. But then, Dr. Tanya Warzeka, former curriculum director.
Sure.
You have two experts in the state.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But again, it goes back to our teachers. And so I talk to our principals. I talk to a lot of teachers, and it is. You just can't have somebody pulling the cart along.
Sure.
You all have to be going together. And so when an idea comes down from Dr. Walder or Dr. Warzeka, and or previously Dr. Lowry, if it wasn't well received or if there were some concerns, if you will, at the operational level in the classroom, they worked together. They got it figured out.
Yeah.
So I mean but it's the teachers. I mean, it's the teachers.
We've got some good ones. Since you mentioned Dr. Walder, I got to mention her husband, Tom, who is my kid's favorite sub.
Oh, boy.
So you'll see Tom Walder in the schools quite a bit too.
Sure.
So I wanted to give Tom a little shout out. I know he listens to our basketball games. I don't know if he'll listen here today, but well, I didn't know you were a Browns fan. I think I might have. I think me and Zoe might have talked about it before, but we're long suffering, lost again today. That's okay.
It is what it is. It's, and again, it's just a game, You win or lose, you enjoy it, So
Well, thank you for what you do for President Bennett. Are you going to stick around with school board for a while?
I enjoy it, I really do. And if the board will have me back and the voters will have me back, I probably have at least one more term in me.
Okay.
But again, I'm also a big proponent of term limits in Congress.
Sure.
So I know we're local level here.
Yeah.
A little different story, but I do believe in a rotate motate. So I'm not going to be on the board forever, but I'm enjoying what I do. I enjoy working with the board members that we have, and Tanya's great, Samantha. I mean, all of them. I mean, it's like I said, T's very lucky to have the staff that we do, and
I like that perspective as well, as giving somebody else, with someone with different ideas, and like you said, a different background. I take away from our conversation that, and also do what you can as a volunteer. And if you're good at something and need to volunteer, just step up, and just like you've done on the board, and just like several board members have done. So
there's always something going on. I mean, committees. I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So
yeah,
all kinds of events. So yeah, I enjoy it. So
well, thank you. We'll get you back on here sometime and talk about something else.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. Thanks, President Bennett.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. There he goes, Jason Bennett. A little longer than normal, but I had a lot of questions for the president, and I don't think it's every day you get to talk to a president of the school board. And so I have more questions, but we'll save that for another time. I didn't want to go too long. So we'll let Mr. Bennett about a week ago he might have been able to drive his motorcycle, but not today. Welcome in now, Les Schroeder. Less more with Les. I saw Les today, and I picked him up, and I said, "You look like you've got a haircut," and he said that you told me you've got one coming, my friend.
It's coming next week. We'll get it in next week, hopefully.
So you're going to kind of fill us in a little bit of what's going on, what's coming up, the games that are coming up.
Sure.
In the school. I messaged Mr. Sorum, the FFA
sure.
director. He sent me back a long list. But you started off what we've got going on in T. We kind of want to. Our goal here is we want to try to cover everything that's going on. So if there's a chili feed or a fireman's breakfast, we want to tell you about it. So maybe you can come here.
Tonight,
and so if we miss anything,
it's all me.
It's this guy's fault.
That's right. Well, no, I just looked at the events calendar and let's see. Tomorrow is December 1st already. I think I just got a text from that head basketball coach.
You heard it here first. Tomorrow's December 1st.
Tomorrow is December 1st.
Yeah, you got a text.
I got a text from that Mr. Weber guy, and he's excited and ready to go for tomorrow morning. And
is it their first practice tomorrow?
Yeah.
Girls was last Monday.
Yes, and I got a text from him, Mr. Fechner too, and their practices all went well last week, and that's on my next week Monday is the first girls basketball game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean it's December 1st already, so tomorrow is just wrestling, youth wrestling practice. December 2nd is the Tuesday night is our football awards night. So they're going to talk about the previous season and give out awards. You talked about the welding. This is perfect timing.
Oh, good.
So December 3rd, there's a welding competition at Lake Area Votech in Watertown on Wednesday, right? That's Wednesday.
Yep.
Wednesday. So and then we talked about our Performing Arts Center. There is a concert, and they're going to do it different this year. Usually in the past, they did it at the schools, at the elementary schools. So like Venture would have their kindergarten through first grade.
Terrible.
Well, anyway, Venture would have their day, and Legacy would have their day, and Frontier.
Now they're all going to the PAC?
Now they're going to the Performing Arts Center, and December 4th is going to be the first one, and it's just junior kindergarten, and first grade from all Legacy, Venture, and Frontier.
So you don't have to sit through...
Well, no, because just those grades are on that night. I think I did read ahead. Let's see, December 8th is going to be the second and third graders, and then December 9th is going to be the fourth and fifth graders.
Okay.
So that's different this year than normally in the past, which is really cool. They get their own little spotlight, all the grades from all the schools at the Performing Arts Center.
Should be plenty of seating. No one should, unless you want to be front row, you shouldn't have to show up extra early.
No, exactly.
Like in times past. So.
Exactly. Also on December 4th, they have girls bowling at Del Rapids. And then, I like this too, they have an EA Sports match at Dakota Valley.
Is this the first year for EA Sports?
No,
esports? Not EA Sports, that's a brand, but eSports.
Esports, but that's been going on for a while.
Okay.
No, it's and then December 5th, they got Oral and Terp in Watertown. And then boys bowling at Del Rapids. And then the wrestling, that Coach Neeson?
Yeah, he's going to be on here in a few days.
Hopefully. So, but
and
they got
wrestling, is that in Watertown?
So, yes, that is a triangular.
Okay.
And it's Chamberlain, Mitchell, and T. And I think that's at, yes.
I think it is. We host 3, but I don't think it's till maybe a week from then, middle of December, I think.
Yes, I didn't write. Sorry, I didn't write the right date down. I didn't write down where it was, but I wrote down the teams that are there, but I didn't write where it's at.
We'll be doing the wrestling. Jeremy Eimers will be leading the way there. I'll just be showing up and talking and helping him, but he'll be giving you the expertise.
That's right. And then, so December 6th is in Watertown. December 5th is somewhere else. December 5th, I think we host that one, actually. Yes, December 5th is when the one we're hosting. And also stayed in Oral and Terp at Watertown on December 6th. And then what you wanted to talk about, December 7th and 8th is the state FFA.
Okay.
And I will let you go on about what Coach Sorum.
Coach Sorum texts me a lot, which I appreciate, and he said he's listening. Hello, Coach Sorum. He's driving back from his Thanksgiving today. So, and from faraway Canton, South Dakota. He says they have 2 really strong teams participating.
Okay.
There'll be marketing plans. This is their third time already. We haven't had a FFA program long run. Third time already qualifying for state since we've been a chapter. He thinks this is their best, by far, this is our best chance to make some noise at the state level, led by President Landon Madsen. He says they've spent some solid hours formulating a new plan from what they have heard. And so we were the resounding district champions. And he's accompanied by fellow teammates and chapter officers Caitlin Parker and Camry Knight. And he thought, Coach Sorum thought this would be a rebuilding year for the agricultural sales team, but this group has proven to be the hardest working team they've ever seen, he says. Looking at the district landscape, he knew it'd be a bearcat for some of those kids to get out and qualify for state. He says this group took the challenge head on. They beat out the second place team by almost 150 points.
Wow.
Typically on a team like this, he says you can pinpoint one leader. He says this year it's been all 5 members have been leaders. They've stepped up to play a significant role getting to this point. Trey Severin, Hadley Rand, Andy Mitchell, newly elected district officer, the big man, Titus Zuref, and Lexi Duffy. He expects big things from this group at state just by the body of work they put in this year. So we will definitely keep an eye on that. I don't know if you know of Clay Sorum, the ag teacher here from T. He originally comes from Canton.
Oh, yeah, that
We
guy.
talked about him last week, assistant basketball coach. He was led by kind of his mentor in Canton, Russ Swanson, who I know and is just an amazing teacher and leader. And Clayton Sorum is turning out to be that way too. And I've told middle school kids, if you get up to high school, it's not just about ag and working in the field and dirt and seeds. Go out to FFA and be a part of it, because it is something that's really, really neat that he's got going on out there. So he said the South Dakota Leadership Development events promote growth in agricultural literacy through public speaking events. Next week, FFA will crown 11 champions with over 100 chapters competing. So he's excited to see what the FFA Titans can accomplish. Of course, after that's done, I don't think they'll be done by the time we're on the air next Wednesday or this Wednesday, but we'll get you up to date on all of that. We'll also get Big Play Clay, as they call him, so Clay Sorum, in here to speak about his FFA and their greenhouse, and they make jerky out there. They restored a tractor. I remember they've got a lot of stuff going on.
They
so
do. I always love talking to him on the bus, going to games and
Absolutely.
stuff like that. It's all a lot of fun. Now my basketball segment, real
Yeah.
quick. Okay, so a week from tomorrow is our first girls basketball game of the
Mhm.
year
Mhm.
down at Sioux City North. The JV will play at 5:30.
Mhm.
And the varsity will follow around 7. So I'm excited on December 8th to see how we get off to a
Did
good.
we play Sioux City North last year? I'm trying.
would
I know
have-
with boys we did.
Boys, we did.
I don't think we did in
We didn't
girls.
for girls. No, we did not.
Okay.
So, and then again, that elementary concert for the 2nd and 3rd grade will be on that Monday, the 8th. And then I did check in my 7th and 8th grade basketball. Okay, the 7th grade team, they play on tomorrow against Memorial Middle School. The A team is 1-1, and the B team is 2-0. And they also play on Thursday against Ben Rifle.
And where are these games at? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is at
Tuesday?
I think tomorrow is
Oh.
7th grade.
Okay.
7th grade is tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure they're in T. And I think Ben Rifle is also in T on Thursday.
Good.
And I think they have a jamboree on Saturday as
They do.
well.
In T.
In T.
I volunteered you for that, by the way.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
Am I reffing or am I keeping clock? You don't want to see me ref.
No.
I was just wondering. And then the 8th grade team the A team is 1-1, but all their pieces are. I did talk to the head coach,
Okay.
and all their pieces are coming back next week. Or
They're healthy now.
They are getting healthy.
Okay.
And then so the A team is 1-1, the B team is 3-0, and then they play Tuesday at home against Memorial. And
Okay.
then they also have that jamboree on
I
Saturday
expect
as well.
to see you there Tuesday.
Well, if my other job does not conflict with the time, I will try to get there.
I have news. Former Titan Clayton Sattler at Augustana College playing football got hurt this year. Other
Yeah.
than that, had a big year.
He did.
He's a big body. He's got some of the biggest hands, along with Reese Kirschman, that I've ever seen. But
I wore my
young
yellow.
Clayton Sattler has gone into the portal for
Oh.
football, which means he'll be looking for a new place to play. I'm guessing, after not really talking to many people about it, it's probably going to be a bigger school, maybe an
All right.
SDSU, North Dakota State.
What?
He's got the talent and the size to get it done there. So
Well,
we'll
I
keep an
wore-
eye on that.
I wore my yellow today because Jacks won yesterday against New Hampshire.
And the Vikings lost
And
today.
well, I don't know. The Vikings were still playing yet, and I'll find that out later. And then the women picked up a victory yesterday over Kansas State.
Yeah,
Have
big win for Katie Vasika
Yep.
from T and the
Yep.
Jacks to beat a Big 12 opponent.
they have a home game finally this Wednesday night against Weber State.
And where was this? This was 3 games back to
this
back
was
to back.
the Cancun, somewhere down Mexico.
somewhere
Mexico.
with
warm,
no snow.
warm in Mexico. So yes, they went 1-2 in that tournament, and now they got a home game on Wednesday.
And her brother Marcus reached out and he said he loves the idea of he loves the name More with Less. And
That's
so
good. I'm liking that. That's a good idea.
Hopefully we get everything. Vikings are losing 19
well,
to 0.
There we go. Thank you.
So they've got them right where they want
Right
'em
where they want
with
them.
their 4th string quarterback in there.
That's right.
If you can get worse than J.J. McCarthy, I
Oh.
doubt it, but maybe he can show us a new worse. Not that I can talk with me and Mr. Bennett's
How's
Browns.
your Browns do today? So anyway, we'll move on.
All right. Do you have anything else?
Well, no, I'm excited for Mr. Weber getting started tomorrow for boys basketball.
Basketball season. They're going to start bright and early. And then I'm sure it's 2-a-days, and they're going to go after school as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
So might swing in and try to catch both teams practicing. Now that we've got the 2 gyms, we can do that when sometimes we go over there and see both teams and get an
December
early
12th,
feel.
girls
And
and
so-
boys doubleheader against the Huron Tigers.
I'm excited. I'm
Game
excited.
2.
Well, we thank President Jason Bennett for coming on. Kind of short notice. We were going to do this early in the week, but the weather had a different idea. But thanks for coming in and adding some stuff in, Coach Les.
No problem.
Basketball season starting soon. We'll be at the middle school on Monday. And I think that's all we've got today for Jason Bennett and Les Schroeder. And Storm Chasers Studios, Mr. A.J. Town, pushing all the buttons behind the scenes. We thank you for that. Next week, or this week, Wednesday, we will be on talking some wrestling with head coach and my color man on football, John Neeson. I'm excited for you to meet John Neeson, and he's going to talk about some of his wrestlers and what he's done with that program. He won't admit to it, but he's completely turned that thing around
He has.
and has added several state champions, and so we will talk to him. So if you join us a little longer than we normally go, but that's what happens sometimes. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for the guys I mentioned. This has been All the Tea here live from the T Storm Chasers studio in T, South Dakota.